What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode, we are moving forward in Universal Century to UC-0097 as we cover Mobile Suit Gundam narrative. Last time, Minerva told the world of Laplace's box. The colony builder Magallanica was saved by Banagher and Riddy and is now in Minerva's control. After a year of knowing the contents of Laplace's box, the question is, has anything changed? No. After Anaheim Electronics deals with the fallout of Martha, Luo & Co. begin getting into mobile suit production. We will also learn about the 3 children that predict the future. So let's get into this. In Australia, a group of orphans are on a bus when one little girl named Rita runs away. 2 other kids chase after her. This is Jonah Baston and Michelle Luo. I'm going to refer to him as Jonah, but I think it might be Yona, kind of like how Yuta is spelled with a J from Moon Gundam. We could also refer to him as Riddy Light, because that's kind of what he is. Rita grabs Michelle and Jonah's hand and she senses something. She says that scary and sad things are about to happen. Of course, we know now what is about to happen is Operation British. Now in high quality. Want to see civilians get vaporized? We got you covered. 3 years later, these 3 all happen to be new types. We get a swift glimpse of Rita getting surgery for her cyber new type upgrades. Jonah suddenly wakes up. It was all a bad dream. He is in New Hong Kong. In the same city at Luo & Co., Michelle is meeting Vice Admiral Maori. Brick Teclato watches over them. After leaving, Maori's assistant wonders if they could trust Michelle, but it is known that she is able to predict the outcome of every war. She predicted the AUG winning the Grips conflict, which is why Luo & Co. sided with them. Luo & Co. were also the first to pull out of Lhasa during the Second Neo-Zeon War. If you follow our coverage of Moon Gundam, you can see Luo & Co. make moves in the background in UC-0091 before Char made his move. Michelle is one of the miracle children. Brick informs Michelle, and by Michelle, I mean you, the viewer, about Unicorn Gundam. Since the Laplace incident, both Unicorn and Banshee has been disassembled and locked away. They believe that its power is beyond human comprehension. That is exactly what I was saying in our Unicorn coverage. Can we roll back that footage?
Aaron says that the red glow on Unicorn is the exposed cycle frame. He says that Anaheim created this mobile suit, that even they don't understand the glow or the full extent of the cycle frame. What?
Shut it down. I am glad they finally understood the power they were wielding. Michelle is looking for a power like the Unicorn Gundams, as she is trying to save her father, Wooman Luo, who is currently in cryostasis. Brick looks over the data of the other miracle child, Jonah, as well as the RX-9. A vehicle drives down a mountainous road, being escorted by Jagan D escort types. The RGM-89D ESC Jagan Type D escort type is a variant of the Type D and has its Vulcans removed and chest armor reinforced. Weapons include a 90mm short machine gun, a Type D beam saber, a hand grenade, and a shield which stores a twin missile launcher. Other mobile suits escorting the vehicle are the Anxas and a Gustav Karl Type 13. EFF happens to be transporting Martha Vist carbine. They come under attack from above by Rick DJs. The pilots include Michelle and Jonah. They stop the vehicle, and Michelle steps on this guy. Damn. Michelle tells Martha that Vist and Anaheim have turned their backs on her, so they should work together. In exchange, she wants the Unicorn's 3rd brother, the Phoenix. Jonah thinks back on the past and calls Michelle a liar. Later in the future, we see a witch hunt happen on the Phoenix Gundam. The RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 03 Phoenix is the 3rd Unicorn Gundam that was secretly built by EFF using data from Unit 1 and Unit 2. It has a golden body that resembles a Phoenix. Like its brothers, it has the Newtype Destroyer or NTD system, along with the Beam Magnum. It also has the Armed Armor DE like Unicorn Gundam and Arm Armor XC, specifically in the manga 0096 Last Sun. Other weapons include 60mm Vulcan guns and a beam saber which doubles as a beam tonfa. Rita is piloting Phoenix. The Shizar unit is chasing Phoenix. This unit is a part of the Klopp-class ship, the Damascus. Their leader is Iago Hakana. Their team uses the Jesta Shizar type. The RGM-96XS Jesta Shizar type is a special unit Jesta designed by Anaheim Electronics for Operation Phoenix Hunt. These units are specific to each team. Team A is a high mobility type unit. Team B is all equipped with the Mega Beam sniper rifles. Team C uses the capture gun, which shoots out an electromagnetic net. Team C also rides on Type 89 base jabbers. All units have the upgraded head sensor. Other weapons include the Vulcan pod system, hand grenades, a beam rifle, and a shield. The speedsters rush in while the snipers try to pick off Phoenix. The capture team tries to go in with their nets, but Phoenix can dodge with ease. A voice comes on the radio and tells them to get out of the way of the beam blast. That is when a Gundam approaches. It is Narrative Gundam using the Apex. The RX-9A Narrative Gundam Apex is a high mobility loadout for Narrative Gundam. It allows it to accelerate as fast as Phoenix. The Apex main weapon is the Psycho Capture, which is similar to the Psycho Jammer on the Rosen Zulu. It uses claws to trap its enemy in a Psycho field. Many boosters have been attached to the leg. It is equipped with 60mm Vulcan guns, the Beam Saber, a high mega cannon, a 5-tube missile launcher, and a large beam saber. It also has a core block system. It is piloted by Jonah. The Gundam launches from a ship manned by Michelle and Brick. Jonah focuses on using the Psycho Capture. Phoenix is able to escape from the Psycho field. A cosmic glow emits from Phoenix. Michelle tells him to shoot, but he grapples onto her and tries to get her to remember him. Iago and his team tell him not to interfere with their mission to capture the Gundam. I like that we get a Newtype flash that is very similar to the original scene in 0097. Rita gives a speech to everyone on the battlefield. She asks if there really is a heaven, like she once did when she was younger. Jonah fires a beam blast towards Phoenix as it disappears. Rita says she wants to be a bird in the next life. Hey, that's Lala's thing. Do all new types just want to become cosmic birds? Meanwhile, in the Republic of Zeon, in Side 3, the people of the Republic are concerned that keeping Magallanica in Zeon territory is not a good idea. Minerva isn't having any political nonsense from these people. She calls Zinnerman. One of the members of the Republic, Monahan Bakaro, seems to be working with Zeon extremists. He contacts Zoltan. Zoltan! Back on the Damascus, the Shizar team wonders why the new Gundam got in the way of their top secret mission, handed down by HQ. It seems HQ was the one that sent the Gundam in the first place. They assume it is one of Anaheim Electronics, but Captain Avery tells them that it is actually made by Luo & Co. They sent a Gundam to capture a Gundam. The old types realize they will be obsolete soon. Brick and Luo & Co. have claimed part of the ship for their own needs, and he prevents Iago from going into one sector. The mechanics remove the armor from the Gundam, revealing its true form. The RX-9 Narrative Gundam was developed as a prototype for New Gundam. This unit is mainly designed to collect data and is a testbed unit. Narrative's cockpit lacks a standard 360-degree panoramic monitor and is located in the core block system that can detach and change into a core fighter during an emergency. We will also learn that this is secretly designed with the NTD system. This base form only has 60mm Vulcans. One thing to note is the bulky spacesuit that Jonah wears. The suit itself is composed of psycho frames, and it takes a team to get on and off. Michelle gives Jonah a good old bright slap. Iago is trying to listen in on their conversation. Jonah wants to bring Rita back alive, but she reminds him that she is too far gone and to take the shot next time. He looks down at his necklace. What is with people in the UC-90s having nostalgia pendants? A Chevet-class ship is carrying a familiar-looking mobile armor as Girazulus escort the ship. Looking at an image of Phoenix is Zoltan. UC-0086. We return to Dakar, where Char revealed to the world that he is Casaval Rim Dakum and denounces the Titans. While this is happening, Stephanie Luo meets with Titan Special Task Force Commander Escola Goeda. The Titans currently have the Miracle Children, who are rumored to have predicted the colony drop. Stephanie and her father would like possession of them. One thing we learn in this conversation is that even though Wu Min Luo and Luo & Co. backed the AU during the Grips conflict, he doesn't actually believe in Zionism. She knows that the Psycho Gundam was the Titans' doing. Escola tries to pass the buck by saying it was another EFF department. She knows that this Psycho Gundam needs a new type to pilot, and he is in charge of the new types, or rather, artificial new types. She also knows of the experimentations with cyber new types. She has no interest in these man-made new types. She just wants one of the Miracle Children, but just one. I assume this is either Murasame Labs or Newtype Labs, which was Titans-controlled. Other Titans-controlled Newtype Labs during this time was Kilimanjaro, Oakland Labs, and a lab in Pyongyang, North Korea. Michelle wants to escape. Rita says, whatever it takes. Back in the present, Zeon is watching the battle data on Phoenix. Their mission is to capture the Gundam. Zoltan is in the back, and he interrupts Alec Hugo's briefing and mansplains that they will use the Psycho Monitor to track down Phoenix. We will learn that these have false positives, but a Psycho Monitor is able to detect Psycho waves. Because psycho waves can affect Minovsky particles, they can measure for weird anomalies caused by psycho fields, making it easier to detect Phoenix. It sounds similar to how scientists can see black holes. They don't measure the black hole, they measure the anomalies around the black hole. At least that is my vague understanding of psycho monitors. Jonah is training with the Shizard team in the new B-Packs. The RX-9B Narrative Gundam B-Packs. Main weapon is the Wired Guided Assault Unit. It is a backpack with 2 wired control weapons. These wired units can also be swapped out for the Psycho Jammers to capture Phoenix. Jonah will refer to these as NCOMs, though they are different. Other weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a beam saber, and a small shield. Iago flashes back to him, going over Jonah's record. He has no merits or demerits, and there isn't a lot of info on him besides that he is on loan from Luo & Co. Jonah says nothing out of confidentiality. Iago knows that he and EFF are hiding something. The Damascus goes to high alert as a Xeon ship approaches. It is the Chevet-class ship and Zoltan. He launches in the Sinanju Stein. The MSN 06S-2 Sinanju Stein is the second unit built off of the original Sinanju Stein, the first being the one stolen by Full Frontal, known simply as Sinanju. This is more or less the same as Sinanju, with the exception of having a large beam axe instead of a pair of smaller beam axes. Other weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a beam saber, a high beam rifle, a bazooka, a shield, and a grenade launcher. Like the original, this has the Intention automatic system and is covered with psycho frames in the cockpit. The two forces approach Side 6. EFF approaches Colony 18 of Side 6, known as Matisse, which happens to be a college colony. Captain Avery doesn't want to enter the colony without a warrant, but Michelle suggests that she name drop Luo & Co. Ugh, Nepo babies. Jonah and the Shizar team move into the colony. Jonah rushes in ahead of Shizar. Like Amado, he sees a bird and thinks that is Rita, but it happens to be Zoltan in Sinanju Stein. Zoltan fires inside the colony. Narrative uses its wire-guided bits on Sinanju Stein. The Neo-Zeon mobile suit grabs Narrative and it begins glowing red along with his psycho frame spacesuit. Out in space, Phoenix can sense Jonah. Jonah takes a beating when Phoenix comes in to help. He remembers his past, and the NTD system activates on Narrative. However, it wasn't activated by Jonah. It was Michelle. Remember, during our Unicorn coverage, we mentioned that the NTD system effectively takes the pilot out of the equation. All that is necessary is a Newtype in the cockpit. It seems that Michelle has taken that technology to the next level, effectively making a pilot a power source for psycho waves that the mobile suit feeds off of. Michelle is ultimately using EFF and the colony to lure out Phoenix. Narrative uses its psycho jammers to confine Phoenix. Jonah has no control. He cries out and it causes second Neo-Zeon, the mysterious mobile armor, to activate. The NZ-999 second Neo-Zeon was made using parts from Full Frontal's Neo-Zeon, and parts of this unit still have the red color. The wired funnels are deployed from the arms. According to the Japanese website, it says that putting it in the arms make it resemble the Zeong more. But why? What about its arms make it more like the Zeong than the original Neo-Zeon? I might be reading this wrong. Someone with better Japanese skills confirm this. Weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a beam saber, a large beam axe, a large caliber high megaparticle cannon, shoulder cannons, the powerful Psycho Shard generator, and everything else the original Neo-Zeon can wield. The Neo-Zeon makes its way to the colony. It is drawn to Narrative Gundam. Brick mentions that it isn't the NTD system causing the two units to come together, but rather this is coming from Jonah. He flashes back to when the three kids were walking around the remains of Australia after the colony drop. Rita is wondering if there is a god. They look around knowing that a god wouldn't let a colony drop happen. Rita believes that there may be no god, but there certainly is a soul. Titan's Commander Escola is watching over the children. Even though they are planning to give one of the children over to Luo & Co., he wants to keep the child and even resort to surgical enhancements. Now that Grips 2 has fallen, they need all the power they can against the Ayug. They don't have time, as if the Titans fall, they will be considered war criminals. The problem is, no one knows which one of the three is the miracle child, so they plan on feeding them false information to see if one will speak up. Michelle Luo heard the entire conversation go down. She and Jonah indeed know that Rita is the miracle child. Michelle tells Jonah that they have to lie to protect Rita. Soon, the war will be over and they can be free. So the two confessed, but Michelle lied. He knows that Jonah would spill the beans if he was chosen to go with Luo & Co. So it has to be Michelle. She won't slip up and they can have Rita. Michelle just saved her own ass. Stephanie and Woman Luo take in Michelle, while Rita undergoes cyber Newtype enhancements. When Jonah tries to stop them, Rita says something to him, but we the audience do not hear what she said. The war ended, but Michelle never came back for Jonah or Rita. In the present, Jonah docks with Neo-Zeon. A huge psycho field emanates from the two machines. Jonah calls Michelle a liar and goes mad. It seems like he is about to destroy the colony when Rita and Phoenix calm
calms him down and tells him that there is nothing he could do about the past. She removes Narrative from Neo Zeon and takes off. Before leaving, she says that she will need help one day. Back on the Damascus, there are a lot of things Michelle didn't inform Captain Avery about, and he demands to know the answers. In space, a ship that looks an awfully lot like the Garnciers changes course to prevent the Neo Zeon extremists from getting their hands on Unit 3. A mobile suit is on standby. Michelle spills the beans. The Unicorn Gundams seem to have demonstrated that the Gundam itself can capture the will, soul, essence, whatever you want to call it, and send it to a higher plane of existence. The body itself doesn't seem to serve a purpose, but most importantly, it shows that life is eternal in some form. I mentioned that the Gundams were dismantled, but I didn't mention that the psychoframes were sealed away as an agreement between Neo Zeon and EFF. Also, people now refer to what happened with Unicorn Gundam as a singularity. Michelle tells the Damascus crew that Unit 3 is designed to destroy the singularity. Iago realizes that Unicorn Gundam wasn't dismantled. It was all a lie. I'm sorry, this is bugging me, but I have to stop the story to point out that everyone's rank badges in this movie changes size. Look how big Iago's badges are. There's an animation supervisor out there that needs to be fired. Jonah comes in and says that it is either Unicorn or something equally on par with Unicorn. Back on the Chevet-class ship, Alec is talking to Monahan about Zoltan going nuclear in the colony and unleashing Neo Zeon, even though it was Jonah's doing. Monahan mentions that Zoltan is nothing more than a failed Char clone that is shown to be too erratic. Full Frontal was the ideal clone, while Zoltan was a test tube baby that was dropped too many times. Monahan decides to pull the plug on the operation and wipe his hands of Neo Zeon. Zoltan is listening in on the conversation. Back at the Damascus, Michelle admits that she lured out Neo Zeon on purpose. The Fetties are furious, but Brick interjects and says that they are trying to cure death, and surely that must amount to something. They have themselves a Philosophy 101 conversation about death, but Michelle believes that curing death will cure greed, murder, grief, and betrayal. People do some crazy things in the name of survival. That all goes away. Monahan tells Alec to kill her crew to eliminate any witnesses. But that is when Zoltan comes in as he heard the conversation. She pulls out a gun, but Zoltan shoots her in the head. He launches in the Neo Zeon. Brick talks to Jonah about being the one who has to lure Rita. He starts to go into a conversation about the soul when the ship gets a red alert. The Neo Zeon is tearing through General Revel's, Jagans, and Rozel's as they pass by the Helium-3 storage base. It is a giant sector of space that stores helium. It seems to be located near Site 1. He takes out the two entire squads. Zoltan then activates the Psycho Shard emitter. Remember, this weapon is said to be able to do anything at will, and we will see that as Neo Zeon flings a helium tank at the EFF fleet and then detonates it, taking out the General Revel. The Damascus fleet watches when Jonah gets a Newtype flash. Rita asks for his help. As he goes to launch, Michelle says that she speaks to her as well. We finally get an admission from Jonah that Rita is dead, but something of her still remains in Phoenix. Michelle gives him her piece of the pendant and allows him to launch. Jonah launches in Narrative C-Packs. The RX-9C Narrative C-Packs is a variant of Narrative which is covered in Psycho frames and used as armor. These were supplied by Luo & Co. and is referred to as the Psycho Package. Weapons include a 60mm Vulcan gun, a beam saber, a Jagan beam rifle, and a shield. Many of the General Revel's mobile suits still remain and are able to do some damage to Neo Zeon, but Zoltan uses the wired funnels to take control of the EFF mobile suits. Brick and Michelle launch in a base jabber. She recently told Stephanie that she wasn't, in fact, the real miracle child. Stephanie says that it doesn't matter, and her mission for immortality won't save their dad. After Wooman Luo dies, Michelle isn't going to be ousted by Stephanie or Luo & Co. simply because she lied about being the miracle child. Stephanie says it wouldn't be in the best interest in Luo & Co. Michelle smiles, so I assume Stephanie is teasing her. But I have no idea. She might actually be all business and not actually care about Michelle. It's kind of hard to read them. The two launch in the base jabber. The crew are mad that the captain let them go, but he says that they should focus on this simulation he just ran. According to the simulation, if Neo Zeon sets off enough of helium-3, it could reach a critical mass and cause one of the biggest explosions ever. This explosion would take out both Side 1 and Side 6, where the scattered remains of the colony will most certainly fall down on Earth and can cause a travesty greater than any colony drop. Zoltan chases Phoenix with his Jagan drones and takes out some of the helium tanks. He could sense that the Phoenix pilot is a cyber Newtype. He grabs Unit 3, but Narrative comes in to help. Phoenix and Narrative work together to take on Neo Zeon. Rita believes that it shouldn't exist in this world. That is when the blue ship makes it to the battlefield. It is the Garnciers Jr., led by Zinnerman. A black mobile suit launches. Neo Zeon Zeong grabs Phoenix when Michelle and Brick come in with the base jabber. They unload what I assume are psycho frames, which create a barrier around Neo Zeong. Jonah looks at his pendant. We learn that it was his dad's pendant who died during the colony drop, and it was broken. He is mad, but Rita wants it. In the present, Iago comes in to help Jonah. The two attack Neo Zeong. Narrative grabs the base jabber and gets it to safety. Iago was at the Battle of Axis. He witnessed the cosmic glow, and he is starting to become a believer. But Neo Zeong takes over his Jesta. Michelle and Brick jump the propellant tanks in the base jabber and head back into the battle. Brick tells Jonah what he was going to say to him earlier. He says that if the soul can be transplanted into a psycho frame, then death is not the end. As Zoltan attacks Narrative, the base jabber blocks the attack, killing Brick and Michelle. They then transfer the consciousness into the psycho plates that they threw on the battlefield and use it to protect Narrative Gundam. At least I think that's what's happening. Something Newtype nonsense. We flash back to the three children who decide to take each piece of the pendant. Jonah isn't sad anymore. We cut to them looking over the remains of Australia once again. Michelle tells Jonah that everyone has a reason to live, and clearly his reason is Rita. Newtype ghost Michelle tells Jonah to go to her. Narrative rushes towards Phoenix as Neo Zeong destroys the Gundam. Jonah ejects in the core fighter when a beam blast takes out one of the wired funnel bits. It is Banager Lynx in the Silver Bullet Suppressor. The ARX-014S Silver Bullet Suppressor is an upgraded version of the Silver Bullet seen in Unicorn. What makes this version unique is that it has the ability to store and easily remove up to 4 right arms. Now why is this? It is because this Silver Bullet also uses the Beam Magnum. The Beam Magnum can only be used by the Unicorn Gundams without its arm being destroyed. This solves that problem. The backpack stores 4 arms and it is equipped with a quasi-Psychoma system. Other weapons include 60mm Vulcans, a beam saber, a grenade launcher, and a beam cannon. But the Delta Chi can't shoot the Beam Magnum. Shut up! Everything in Gundam evolves from something else and was leading to this moment. Banana fires the Beam Magnum, taking out the right arm of the unit. Jonah gets into the Phoenix and finds the third piece of the pendant. He activates the NTD system and begins destroying Neo Zeong. Zoltan ejects in the Sinanju Stein. However, Phoenix punches through Sinanju Stein's cockpit and plows the mobile suit back into Neo Zeong, killing Zoltan. However, this sets off the helium and it reaches a critical point. The Garnciers Jr. needs to back up, but Banager goes out to help. Jonah reaches a Newtype plane of existence and talks to Michelle and Rita. As Rita was the true miracle child, she actually knew about all of this happening since they were a kid. Michelle didn't lie to Jonah for self-preservation. She did it because Rita told her to, and they left Jonah in the dark. He wants to stay with Michelle and Rita, but he still exists in the physical world. Phoenix Gundam grows psychofield wings which wrap around the helium explosion, preventing it from expanding and destroying the colonies. The psychofield consumes the explosion and disappears into a singularity. Banager grabs Jonah, floating out into space. He looks up to see Phoenix flying away. Banager tells Jonah that it is flying at nearly the speed of light, and you can't catch it, but perhaps someday. Banana parting some words of wisdom via metaphor? Aw, I missed you, buddy. Get over here. How have you been? Oh, we're done. Never mind. Goodbye forever, Banana. And that will conclude Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative. If you didn't enjoy the Newtype nonsense of Unicorn Gundam, then you probably didn't enjoy this either, as it double downs on Newtype nonsense. I did quite enjoy the Miracle Children and wish there was more of a focus on them. Although, if you are familiar with Blue Destiny, Rita's story sounds very familiar to Marion's story. But let's not get hung up on the UC90s. Let's keep this party going and get all Mafty up in here as we head into UC 105. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one. But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember to get your pumpkin masks ready. Peace.